Man, I really, really don't like hurricane season.
Neither do I. I don't think anyone around here really does.
Nah. I had a follow-up joke, and then I forgot what it was, so welcome to the bridge, everybody!
I was say, where's this going? Welcome to Under the Bridge.
I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And I am Greg, aka Greg.
And this is our podcast, where we talk news of the pop culture variety. Sometimes gaming news, sometimes comic news, pretty much always movie news, and pretty much always, but not this week, a movie review.
But I'll tell you what is guaranteed. Debbie ain't got shit on us.
Yeah! Take that. Still here.
Mother. Yeah, I was gonna say, still around. At which point the hurricane just goes like, what'd you say, punk? Just a complete 180 back, defies everything science has ever studied for the past 200 years. And it's like, why did it turn back? Because this one random dude on the internet talks shit.
Yep.
So the hurricane is sentient. We are all f***ed.
I mean, it missed us entirely, so all we got was a bunch of rain.
Right.
12 inches over here, apparently.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Crazy, though.
Yeah, 12 inches, at least half of which was indeed sideways.
So, as a result, we didn't end up getting to go see Trap, because what happened was, we were going to go see it Friday night, and then I had car trouble, and by process of roping Greg into helping me with it, we didn't get a chance to see Trap.
Right.
So then my plan was, I'm going to go see Trap Sunday night, and then the weather got pretty bad, and I was like, I'm going to go see it anyway. So I roll up to the movie theater, turns out it's closed.
On my end, it was a thing of like, I looked at that, and I'm like, yeah, that weather looks bad. Because one thing I've learned living in Florida in my entire life is that Mother Nature hates everybody, and unlike a lot of the South, it does not discriminate. So, I just got my merry ass back home.
So, we didn't end up actually getting a chance to see Trap, but if we had seen Trap, we would have seen the third highest grossing movie domestically this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, $15.45 million domestic total and domestic weekend.
Oh, that sounds low.
It's not the greatest, because the highest grossing movie this weekend was still Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
Which did a $96.8 million domestic weekend, $395.38 million domestic total, and $824.17 million worldwide. Funny fact, domestically, it has in fact beaten Passion of the Christ.
So, Marvel Jesus has beaten out actual Jesus.
Yep. He's literally bigger than God now. That's terrifying.
Is the movie still too fresh to make that joke?
I don't think so.
Fair.
And it's currently the third highest grossing R-rated film overall. But I have very little doubt it's gonna beat the others.
Yeah, no, that's... I mean...
Joker's
what
only
do you
at
mean
$1 billion.
Joker is number one?
Yeah, I don't know either,
That is a
man.
travesty! That is... I say that as someone who is not with you on just hating Joker, and even I am going like, no, that's a total travesty. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I feel like in a couple weeks Deadpool's gonna beat it, and honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather Deadpool than Joker. Anyways, we're mixing up the format, as you can see, because we don't have a movie review. So, instead of news, first we're gonna go to trailer time.
Let's do earliest trailer time.
Yeah. Do I have to bleep that? I don't think so. Maybe.
It's a little... I think it's after 5 minutes. Cuts
yeah, but I have to cut some of it down.
Fair enough.
It's trailer time again! We've got movie previews to watch! It's trailer time again! So we got a trailer for The Bagman. Well, nope, sorry, it's just called Bagman. There's no the.
My biggest thing with this is that they spend a good bit of this trailer going over how consistent this story is and how it's stayed the same for hundreds of years. So, and with that, for some reason, my brain just went, it's like, okay, so the monster has to be this horrifying, gargantuan thing that's like just the scariest thing ever. It's like, no, he just looks like a coked out house robber.
Scariest thing in the world, man!
Yeah, like, homie's just got like a black hoodie, gym bag, and he looks like he really needs some heroin. Or some morphine. Or both.
I think my favorite thing about this trailer is the fact that they choose to advertise from the studio that brought you Pray for the Devil and The Strangers Chapter 1.
Yeah!
Having seen both of those movies, that is not something to advertise like it's a selling point.
Yeah. I haven't seen either of those, but I know enough to be like, ooh, that's, I don't know if that's a good thing to be like, yeah, we made this shit. It's like, you don't thought about that, dog.
In this corner, we have the movie that I completely forgot that I saw, partly because they changed the name midway through marketing.
Which is still amazing.
And in this corner, we have the literal worst Strangers movie / one of the worst things I've seen all year so far.
Right.
Boy howdy.
Yeah, it's just like, oh god almighty.
And as the trailer progressed, all I could think is, I wonder if they made a whole thing about this being such an archetypal story so they could justify why I feel like I've seen all this shit before.
Right.
Because that's what it feels like. I have 100% seen all of this already.
Yeah, there's not really anything in this that pulls me to it, other than a little bit, again, largely because of the design of the monster, lack of design, if anything. It makes me go, it's like, alright, part of me wants to see how frustratingly stupid this is, but I also feel like I have literally a better time doing anything else.
The Bagman just looking like a regular dude on drugs kind of makes me want to see it just to see if at the end of the movie they don't get to gather around kicking him doing that. What's that one bit you like to do of take that, yeah?
Oh, yeah, like imitating Chris Rock's whole thing. River dance on your head.
See him go Chris Rock on.
Honestly, I think my favorite horror movie would be any horror movie where a normal horror movie and the villain is genuinely terrifying or whatever, but at a certain point, the protagonist or whoever's still alive does actually one-up the villain and weaken them in such a state where it's like, it's not like some spiritual thing or anything like that, or if spiritual stuff happens, it's after they go world star.
Yeah.
I would genuinely love it if it just went into the most depraved, we will fuck your shit up type of deal, and then you can go to hell.
So this comes out next month. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see indeed.
And then we also got another trailer for Blink Twice.
I don't know what to say about this, because I'm not less interested, but I'm also not more interested at the same time, in all honesty.
It's definitely a cult.
Oh, it's 100% a cult.
The only question now is it a supernatural cult, or is it just a regular rich people cult?
Yeah, it's... Oh god. Welcome to the cult of magic.
Which
light,
billionaire
basically.
is this one making fun of? Because, I mean, Knives Out, or Glass Onion was clearly a shot at Elon Musk, so I'm not saying this one has to be at a specific billionaire, but I feel like it probably is.
Yeah, Knives Out was Elon Musk. The Invisible Man, I want to say, was Jeff Bezos.
I mean, The Invisible Man was just a examination of the lasting trauma of domestic abuse, and not about a specific billionaire, I think.
Fair.
If anything, I'd assume, who's the guy who owns Google? He's ever present, you can't get away from him.
Yeah.
Always spying on you and shit.
Right. Well, I don't think the guy who owns Google is part of Google anymore.
If he owns it, he has to be part of it. Unless he doesn't own it anymore. But then he's not the owner.
Right. Who owns Google? Google is owned by... I am Googling
You're
this question
Googling
about
who owns Google.
Who is the real owner of Google? Alphabet Inc. Okay, so one person doesn't own Google anymore.
Huh. Anyways, I am a little bit interested in this because this is actually Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut.
Yeah.
And also because it looks decently creepy.
It looks genuinely creepy and very uncomfortable.
And Haley Joel Osment and Kyle MacLachlan are in it. So we've got Sora and Sky's dad.
Alright.
I'm a simple man, Greg. I like simple things.
No, that's fair. It's just not what I expected, I guess.
Yeah, I'm very curious if the whole forgetting things is just regular drugs, or maybe there's some kind of, maybe this is a movie about a billionaire who's literally draining the lives out of people to sustain his own vitality. Like what James Woods did in that one episode of Family Guy.
Maybe there's drugs in the face mask that the women are wearing later on.
Yeah, you know what? If you called that, I'm gonna be very impressed.
Yeah, it's like, that would be something.
Anyways, this just comes out later this month, so we don't have to wait too long.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Oh, the 23rd. No shit. Alrighty. Fair enough.
And then, finally, we also got a trailer for Slingshot.
I refuse to believe that this is a theatrical movie.
Really?
No, just the way that it looks and the way that it's shot makes me think of, this doesn't look like a normal movie trailer. It gives me the feeling of either like a miniseries or like a show on ABC.
Huh.
The way the trailer looks feels more like a trailer for like a TV show. And especially with the bits in between, and as far as the cars that give more information about what's going on, this looks like part of a trailer for a new season of Law and Order.
Huh.
And then when it says it's coming out in theaters, like, bullshit.
That's pretty good.
This is like, I don't know, a movie NFT, where instead of a movie, it's actually a TV show, but they're not going to tell you.
Huh, I didn't get that at all. Maybe it's just because Lawrence Fishburne is in here.
No, I feel like Lawrence Fishburne is the thing that makes you go, it's like, okay, then this is actually probably going to be a theatrical
This is probably
release,
a real movie, I guess, not a...
Yeah.
Some kind of weird tax write-off scheme.
Yeah, it really is just the way that it's shot and the way that it's edited and how the lighting is all make me go TV show.
Even the part where his arm starts... Ah!
Yeah, okay, that was a bit more high quality than a normal TV show.
Yeah. That's weird, I didn't get that at all. I thought this was decently suspenseful looking. I mean,
it is. It absolutely is.
I don't think it looks any significantly worse than the interior space shots on ISS, and that was a real movie.
Yeah, fair.
But then again, I feel like I liked ISS better than you anyway, so...
Yeah, I think that was the takeaway from it, wasn't it?
So who am I to judge, I suppose?
Mm.
This is another this month movie, so not that long to find out what this is about.
Yeah, right.
Guess we should go to news, huh?
Yeah, let's do the news.
Yeah, it's all pretty bad.
How encouraging.
No, this is all pretty bad news, frankly.
Alright.
Where do I start with this? Let's start with gaming news.
Alright.
We're not getting any more Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Is that right?
Yeah, the International Olympics Committee has decided not to continue the partnership with Nintendo and Sega.
Aww.
And the reason might infuriate you.
Oh boy. Because
what they want to do instead is explore deals with new partners, esports, and NFTs. What is this, 2022?
Yeah, they're dead! NFTs! Well, I don't think they're gone, per se, but no one has fucked with NFTs since 2022.
I think they were still doing it last year, I'm just being hyperbolic, but...
Yeah, but it's the thing of, why are you still trying to get in the NFT game, guys?
What does it say about this fad that me being hyperbolic is saying that it was a thing 2 years ago instead of 1?
Yeah. But it's the thing, we want our championship to reach out to more people. You're partnered with absolutely one, arguably two, of the most popular IPs within gaming on their own. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, Seth Green called. He wants his chimps back.
Yeah, for real.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, the only way I could see it getting more reach out there, and considering what they've been doing for the last few years, I will not put it out of the realm of possibility, is if they somehow, some way have some kind of partnership with Call of Duty.
I can't even imagine.
I can't imagine it, but for some of the cross-promotions that Call of Duty has done over the last couple years, looks at Call of Duty X Helsing, I think anything is possible.
Fair, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be nearly as outraged about this, because bear in mind, I'm not even particularly fond of the Sonic and Mario at the Olympic games.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of a waste of a concept.
Fair, yeah.
Now, granted, I'm a big Sonic fan and I'm a decent Mario fan. I'm one of those Sonic fans who kind of hates the series now, but, I mean, well, I like Frontiers. I don't hate the series now, I kind of just, I don't know. It's all over the place.
Do you play it more or less than Pokemon?
Less because I play it less, and because I don't actually play the games that pisses me off very often.
That's fair.
I usually, with Sonic, prefer to play the games that I like.
Oh, that's
and you
good.
may be thinking, why don't you play games that you like and just avoid the games that you don't like? To which I say, shut the fuck up. Like, comment, subscribe, but then shut the fuck up.
See, what you're getting into, people who ask that very reasonable question, the answer is why I pretty much don't play Call of Duty anymore. Even though I am still morbidly curious about the new Black Ops game.
So that's the end of an era, it feels like. They've been making these since 2007.
Really? What was the first one?
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Or, okay, that was a dumb question. Was it on the Wii or the GameCube?
Wii, I think? Might have been DS and Wii. Yeah, it would be Wii if it was 2007.
Right, yeah, it was DS and Wii. Okay.
Yep, criminy.
Indeed.
I remember when it first came out, I was in middle school and I thought, this is a huge dumb idea. But it sold, and since then it's kind of sort of almost wormed its way into my heart.
Right.
For this next section, we're doing a little bit of a rebrand on pay your fucking actors. This is now crossing mediums. This is games, this is TV shows, this is movies, it's everything. So, pay your fucking...
Everyone!
I like it. No notes.
As I say, I don't know if it caught it because I think it might have clipped.
Either way, I'll edit it down. I heard it.
Excellent. I was trying to do my best Gary Oldman impression there.
I could tell. So we're going to start with gaming. Just this week, like 6 days ago about, Bungie laid off 220 employees, roughly 17% of its workforce.
Yes, and it has not been received particularly well, including by some members of the Bungie staff, from what I've seen.
Yeah, apparently it came as a surprise to some.
Yes.
And even worse, apparently, now it's being said that originally it was attributed to, I think, the success of, or the underperformance of their latest game, but now I guess it's being said that this was actually inevitable because Bungie's leadership overstated their financial prospects to Sony.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Even worse, and while this doesn't necessarily impact, it doesn't represent a substantial impact to budget, because it wasn't part of their budget, and also it's just, it's not big in terms of their budget, but it's still a gross sentiment. Over the past 2 years, their CEO, Pete Parsons, spent $2.4 million on vintage vehicles.
Ha! Really?
Yep.
Damn. Okay. Most people know me are like, so that means you're kind of like it. I was like, no, that's still pretty shitty. That's not a good thing to do, dog.
It's not a good look.
Yeah.
This is why I hate executives. Cool. That could have gone to your staff.
Yeah, exactly. Or just like done anything to shuffle around resources so that there's not as much financial drain.
Yeah, put it back into the company to maybe stave off the layoffs.
Right.
Ugh.
What was their most recent thing then? Or
The Final Shape, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was something like that or if it was, I don't know, Destiny 2 didn't rake in as much money as they were hoping it would last year.
Yeah. It sounds like also it's believed Sony probably overpaid for Bungie.
Fair. Oh, Final Shape is an expansion to Destiny 2, so...
Okay.
I mean, alright, that's one where it's just like, yeah, I can imagine not many people are going to be getting into that as you hope, because it's an expansion for a admittedly very popular 7-year-old video game.
Right? My god.
For real.
What'd you think was gonna happen? So that's sad, and Bungie's not the only one getting hit with layoffs this week, because Disney's television division has been similarly impacted.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they laid off approximately 140 employees, or 2% of its workforce.
Alright, so... Man, that really is just a thing. If one death is a travesty, 100 deaths is a statistic, isn't it?
When you boil it down like that, yeah. The biggest hits are to National Geographic, Freeform, locally owned television stations, and the network's marketing and publicity teams.
You know, I genuinely forgot that Freeform existed.
Yeah, I miss ABC Family. I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah, no, same. Same, honestly.
So National Geographic is actually losing about 13% of its team, 60 employees, and the largest reduction of this general layoff.
Oh boy.
And that really stinks because this is another impact of the Fox buyout.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, that's when Disney got National Geographic.
Gotcha.
So that's another depressing bit. And ordinarily, I wouldn't mention this part because those aren't really divisions that I pay much attention to. But A, it's pretty good synergy with the Bungie layoffs, and also... it segues very nicely into my next topic, how much Robert Downey Jr. and the Russos are getting paid for the next Avengers movies.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and look, I'm all for people getting paid what they're worth, but after a certain point, nobody needs some of the amounts of money that are going into this.
Or at least not as much money as they're getting, if nothing else.
Yeah, there's an excessive cap, you know? To wit, And granted, this is softened a little bit by the fact that these paydays are apparently for both of the next two Avengers movies, but it still adds up to a lot. The Russo brothers are getting paid $80 million to direct Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars.
So $40 million per.
Yeah, roughly. Whereas Robert Downey Jr. for coming back to the MCU, and I'm not gonna say ruining Doctor Doom, but...
Yeah, we still have to see how it goes.
We have to see how it goes! It's probably bad!
It's not encouraging from the get-go.
We don't know exactly how much he's making, but the $80 million that the Russos are getting for those two movies, he is said to be making, quote, significantly more.
Damn, okay. So...
I'd take that to mean at least probably 100 mil, which would mean 50 mil per movie.
So, that would be, I don't know, if we're being conservative with our guesses, and considering how much Marvel usually puts in money-wise into their movies, that's already potentially a third of the budget just on these three people alone for each movie.
Because even if you divvy it up evenly between movies, that means that's 140 mil. Is it? No, 120. No, hold on. I'm bad at math. That's 90 mil.
Yeah.
That's 90 mil per movie. When the budget usually caps at what? 200, 250?
Yeah, 200, 250, with the obvious exception being Avengers Endgame.
And those just go to 3 people.
Yeah.
And, well, and Marvel hasn't been... They've still been doing alright, make no mistake, don't get it twisted. But
they've been here for years.
Yeah. But they're not guaranteed knocking it out of the park, hit after hit after hit, making more money each time like they used to be. So... I don't know how this is going to do. You can't necessarily guarantee that investment's going to be there. But ultimately, it's just a thing of, man, I get it. Robert Downey Jr. is a talented man. I won't deny that. And I won't begrudge him getting paid a lot for what he's worth to this company. But I feel like after a certain point, how much more do you need? Versus how much more can you have go to the crew, to the other actors who are supposed to be carrying this now, but weren't given the proper shot because of poor scheduling and planning.
Yeah.
Granted, if he turned down the bigger payday or didn't push for the bigger payday, it's not like that money would go to the crew, but you'd feel like he could flex some of that effort and say, okay, we're setting this much aside for them.
Right, yeah.
Or for the other actors.
Yeah, like a bit of a morale boost in that aspect.
And granted, maybe this is going on behind the scenes and we don't know yet, because he is the guy who helped push for the rest of the Avengers actors to get more pay. Because he was pulling down the most by far, and he stuck his head out for them to get more. So I'm not saying he's not doing that.
Yeah, no, it could be a thing of like, all right, you know, the man seems to be at least relatively humble, so maybe there's like other things going around in the background that we don't know about, and probably can't know about legally, you know, wishful thinking and all. Maybe Robert Downey Jr. is the crew in Twisters.
And also, you know, I'm not going to put... Obviously, it's a verified trade publication, but this does come from Variety, so I'm not going to put it past them to not have an agenda, because they're the ones who are pushing the, oh, is Marvel washed? Because they're focusing on all these B-tier minority heroes, and it doesn't seem like audiences are clicking with it. And also, I've heard that they're moving away from Kang, which got the ball rolling of, oh no, are they abandoning Kang Dynasty? Which was probably going to happen anyway, but it was presented in such a obvious... We're sick of talking about superhero movies, and the sooner Marvel falls, the sooner we can stop perspective.
Right.
So hearing this from them... Also, they did a lot of hit pieces on Nia DaCosta when the Marvels was getting ready to come out. And, you know, nobody could do publicity for the movie, so she couldn't really actually talk about it to defend herself.
Right.
So, you know, kind of scuzzy.
That. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
just
so did everybody else, because nobody watched the Marvels. Well, I did.
I mean, I did too. I just forgot about how they were going after her.
You did too. And for that, you have my thanks. And I had a good time. I liked that movie.
God, I just saw how much money that movie lost.
The Marvels!
Yeah. Oh, that's not great. Oh, God. Anyway.
All in all, just a gross expenditure of wealth all around. Really highlights the inequity of it all. So now we're going to close out with some new release dates and some rampant speculation.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so Disney unveiled a lot of their release slate for 2027, by which I mean they planted a lot of dates for untitled movies.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah, now this is across the board, but the one I want to focus in on are the Marvels.
Mm-hmm.
The Marvel movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, there's another one? Yay!
No. Not yet. Maybe. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Brie Larson's maybe kind of sort of hinted she's in the next couple of Avengers movies, so...
Okay, cool.
Good. Anyways, the only concrete movie we know about in 2027 is Avengers Secret Wars on May 27, 2027. However, there are now untitled Marvel movies for July 23rd, 2027 and November 5th, 2027, which... That's kind of bold.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I assume Secret Wars is going to be the big status quo resetting thing now, where, oh, now there's no more multiverse, we're back to one Earth, but it's got the Avengers and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four all on it, and maybe somebody else is playing Doctor Doom now, and maybe Iron Man and Cap are back but played by different people, and now we can have the entire sandbox to play around with, and tough luck to everybody who is just gearing up to take over as new heroes, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, welcome to your first day. You're already in the line of fire. What? Get down.
I'm probably being a little overly cynical, but Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom does that to a man. So...
Fair enough.
But also, interestingly, they removed a Marvel movie that was set for July 24th, 2026.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So basically, we've got Captain America this February, Thunderbolts in, I want to say, May, Fantastic Four First Steps, I hate that title,
It's not a good title.
in July.
Okay.
They've still got Blade dated for November 2025.
I mean,
I don't believe them.
I don't believe them, but I'm hopeful.
I don't believe them, just like I don't believe that Robert Downey Jr. is the one man who could play Victor Von Doom. You're not fooling anyone. This is my Joker moment. This is my real, goddamn, honest-to-God Joker moment.
Hopefully there's not a bit that happens where you finally go, and then you get what you fucking deserve.
I'm gonna poison Gotham's water supply, frankly.
Jesus.
So, allegedly we're getting 4 movies in 2025. Blade's moving. I don't believe for a second.
Ends up being we get 5 movies or 4 movies in 2027.
Hell, Superman just wrapped filming and Fantastic Four just started, and those are supposed to come out within like a week of each other, so who knows?
Wait, really?
Yeah, who knows?
Oh,
maybe,
that's brave. Jesus Christ.
Maybe they'll move Fantastic Four to November. Make it a family movie.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where, man, I feel like there's enough hype behind both movies where it's like someone will be the biggest loser, and it's not a guarantee that it'll be DC.
Right? That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it. I like having competition. I like when both are putting out movies that audiences can get excited for.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore I don't like to see them compete directly head-to-head because it means one of them's probably hurting the other.
Right.
So after that, after 2025, there's an unannounced Marvel movie on February 13th, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Then Avengers Doomsday in May.
That was good.
I'm never not going to say that name disparagingly. It's such a bad title.
Right.
And then there's a movie on November 6, 2026.
Okay.
And then nothing until Secret Wars in May 2027.
And
now, for the really infuriating part, I don't usually, like to broadcast what scoopers and leakers are talking about online because I hate them.
Right.
They suck all the fun out of everything, frankly.
Understandable.
It's one thing to speculate on a movie, it's another thing to speculate on a movie and present it as fact, especially some of them paywall their quote-unquote leaks.
That's gross,
Scummy?
It's scummy, but there's something moderately hilarious about it. Because that's the thing of, you have to both have your head shoved very far up your own ass, while also thinking that you're the big shit to do that. And I feel like that's one of those moves that says more about the person in question than anything they have to say.
Yeah. So the rumor going around was, every movie between Doomsday and Secret Wars that isn't a prequel is going to be set on Battleworld. And now, thanks to this shuffle slate, there's only one movie. So if that one movie is a prequel, there's no movie set on Battleworld. So now I'm just looking at this tweet like, oh yeah? Yeah? Guy who's making shit up says what?
Yeah, as I say, I think you've lost out big time there, boyo.
Yeah, how stupid do you think I am? Don't answer that. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, How is it that the Multiverse Saga has more projects and a longer runtime than the Infinity Saga by a wide fucking margin?
I can't help but think about that every now and again.
But it doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it, but there are moments where I'll, find something out about a character, and it's like, oh, we'll look into them, and of course that usually ends with me finding some way looking into the MCU again, and it's just like, man, this run has been going for a while.
Yeah, the Multiverse Saga has been going for 3.5 years. By the time Secret Wars wraps it up, it will have been roughly 5.5? 6.5. But
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking feel like it. It doesn't feel like there's been any time to get acclimated to a status quo. There's been no real focus on anything. It's just, hey, here's the thing, hey, here's the thing, hey, here's the thing. And only just now are they really starting to follow back up on stuff. But, it feels like such a waste of a concept.
Yeah, what?
Whatever they do next, I really hope they go back to the Infinity Saga style model, where instead of launching 50,000 new projects, you focus on a few new people and whatever ongoing stories you already had and want to wrap up.
Right.
I feel like that's what works, because the problem is, it's really hard... Oh god, I'm on the soapbox. It's really hard... How did that get there?
And this time I'm not talking about Punchline to distract you from the soapbox.
Nah. Well done. Good job.
Yes.
It just doesn't... It doesn't feel like so many of the new characters that got introduced have had any real chance to become audience favorites. And, granted, their approach isn't too terribly different from how they did the Infinity Saga, because people like to act like, oh, this is what happens when they go without a plan. Motherfucker, the Infinity Saga was not planned, alright? It was very heavily improvised. They had no fucking idea going in the first Iron Man, or even in the first Avengers, or even really in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Exactly how things were going to play out. Obviously, by that point, they knew Infinity War was happening because they'd announced it. But the details were not locked in, I'll guarantee you that.
Thinking about those movies, the first run of Marvel movies, I do feel like the person who starts a project is just like, yeah, this is just kind of fun. And it's like, oh, people really like this. Okay, cool, let's make another. Holy shit, people, I need help. I need a plan now. This is going really well, and I don't know how long I can keep that up.
Yeah.
Ends up ending with one of, if not the most critically acclaimed and profitable movies of all time.
So, this is largely the same. The problem is, they got hit with it was not entirely their fault. A lot of circumstances were out of their control, like COVID. That fucked up a lot of shit, because it messed up their production schedule, and it also meant you had Disney breathing down their necks going, hey, we need a bunch of content for this streaming service because people are at home all the time, what can you do for us?
Yeah.
So, that was an issue.
God bless those people.
They were clearly setting up Chadwick Boseman as one of the big new stars of the Multiverse Saga, and then he passed away.
Right.
And they were gearing up to have Kang be this big bad of this saga, and then the whole thing with Jonathan Majors happened and they dropped him.
Yeah, and then instead Kang became the big bad of the real world.
And regardless of what you think about how the Jonathan Majors situation went down, there was no reason they had to completely abandon Kang along with him.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Terrible idea.
Yes, and Kang is not a shapeshifter.
No, he is not. Thank you for that. So, that's a lot of 1, 2, 3 punches mucking things up.
Mm-hmm.
And not entirely their fault. The problem is, it's hard to get invested in... God, I'm right back here again. It's hard to get invested in the Avengers as a concept when we don't even know who the Avengers are at this point.
Yeah.
Whereas, when the first Avengers was building up, it was a case of, who are the Avengers? Who do we have in the movies right now? Okay, they're the Avengers.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of interesting characters come to fruition, and interesting things getting introduced and shown and fleshed out within the microcosms that they're introduced in to begin with, and then they don't really pop up again. Like, has there... Because I'm struggling to remember, genuinely, has there been a character that has been introduced in this new saga that was not present before or during Endgame that has popped up a second time so far?
Let's see. I assume we're not counting the TVA popping up in multiple seasons of Loki. Well, okay, no. You know what? The TVA as a concept popped back up.
Yeah, TVA, you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
But let's see. Agatha's popping back up now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's 4 years difference.
Right.
4+ years. No, wait, 3+ years.
Still not great.
Yeah, still not great. I forget how time works. It's the NFTs, man. The chimps are frying my brain. So, Agatha's coming back. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Isaiah Bradley's back.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, fair.
But that's going to be after 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And because of so many projects, you really feel the lack of cohesiveness and the lack of other characters coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Because TVA came back. Yelena was in... Yelena's probably the closest thing to like a through-line character, and she's only been in, as of Thunderbolts coming out next year, 3 things.
You know what? That's fair. I will give you that. Especially since... I feel like even with Yelena, while I will give you that, there seems like they're weird asterisks because in the terms of the timeline, one of the projects that she came into was before Endgame.
Yeah, it was technically set before Endgame, so...
Yeah, but it's the thing of technically correct, which most would usually argue is the best kind of correct.
Because, yeah, when you think about it, I don't even think it's a problem of characters not coming back so much. I think it's a thing of all the team-ups that we've gotten have been kind of safe in the sense of... Oh god, this ended up being a discussion topic episode after all.
Yay!
Oh, jeez. So, what it is every single team-up movie that we've gotten for the most part so far, or team-up project, feels like it's characters who are associated either by what sphere they run in, or by branding. Because you've got, for example, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It's a Doctor Strange movie with Wanda as the antagonist, but they're both magic users. That makes sense.
Right.
You've got the Marvels built in. They're all associated by this one name, with Carol and Monica having a pre-existing connection, and Kamala being a big fan of Carol, and now that they've revamped her powers to be light and energy-based, yeah.
Right.
So these characters all feel connected, and the team-up feels safer.
Mm.
You've got Deadpool and Wolverine. Ditto.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
Don't get me wrong, bringing back Wolverine is a big pull. Bringing back Hugh Jackman is a big pull.
Right.
But it's still all X-Men associated stuff teaming up with each other.
Mm.
There's not that same feeling of, like, Iron Man and Thor running into each other. It's not that same kind of, oh wow, these are two things that don't feel like they should go together, but they do. The closest we got to that is the end of the Marvels with Miss Marvel recruiting Kate Bishop. And that still hasn't... I mean, it's only been less than a year, but there's no real indication of where that's going to pop up next, except maybe in Avengers Doomsday, unless they're not the Avengers and somebody else is the Avengers, because again, we have no idea who's on this team.
Right.
The first real out-of-left-field crossover thing that we're getting is Captain America, Brave New World, where he's dealing with Hulk stuff.
True, yeah.
And that's 4 years into this saga, where we've had dozens of projects.
Mm.
That's bizarre to me.
Yeah, it's a little nutty there.
It really feels like some of the magic was lost because they were too busy trying to establish 50 different things 50 different ways and not figuring out how to bring them together.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, hindsight's 20/20, obviously. And I say that as somebody who liked most of what they did and most of what they put out.
On an individual level.
Yeah, on an individual level, I like most of the things that they put out, but it's really hurting the connected universe aspect in the long run.
Right.
So I don't know where I'm going with this. Aside from, I guess we'll see. It depends on what the next set of movies are, I guess. I'm looking forward to everything that's coming out in 2025, especially Blade, even though that's not staying in 2025.
Yeah, no. I think my thing at this point is that I am trying to figure out, like, what is the overall end game? I promise I'm not trying to make a pun. But it really is a thing of, the vibes I'm getting from this is such a weird allegory. I will fully admit this. But a lot of what's going on, and as far as like how it's going forward, both from a storytelling perspective and from the perspective of what's going on with the greater like multiverse thing they're doing, it reminds me a lot of the main antagonist in Kill la Kill. Because the main antagonist in Kill la Kill is like, I want to basically take over all the things. Okay, and then what? What comes after that? No, I just want to like rule the world. It's like no, do you have an end game besides that? Is there anything else coming after? And that's my thing with this. It's like, same as you, I'm interested in all the things that are coming out. Most of the projects, at least the ones I've seen, because I know I'm really bad at watching a lot of the TV shows, I have enjoyed watching and sitting down and seeing what they're about. But it is a thing of like, alright, what is this all leading to? And how much longer do we need to wait before we start to see some coalescing going on so that we have an idea of what the general end game is going to be? Because I think that's the thing that hurts for me personally. I think that's what's hurting this current storyline more than anything else.
Yeah. You know what? I think I figured out the best way to put it, at least from my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they're building up to the next Infinity War and Endgame already, and we haven't even had the first next Avengers.
Yeah, which is weird.
That really is the crux of the problem. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a crux of the problem, and but I also wonder, it's like, if that's what we're building to, what's the pseudo MacGuffin? Because the MacGuffin in the previous movies, even though by definition of what they are and what they can do, they are not MacGuffins at all, was the Infinity Stones. That was a constant factor in most, we'll say, half of the movies that came out. So it's like, alright, so besides the multiverse nonsense, what's the driving force in this story?
I think the multiverse nonsense is gonna be it. It's just gonna turn out that there's some kind of crisis, something is causing universes to collapse and collide with each other. Dr. Doom is gonna show up claiming he's got a fix, when in actuality...
Yeah, it's gonna be some form of, like, high-yield eugenics, or something like that.
Or it's actually just a ploy because he really wants to play God and rule over all creation, and who knows, maybe he's the one who kickstarted all the multiverse problems. But... that's what it's gonna be, and then it's gonna turn into Battle World, and then they're gonna undo Battle World, and then there will probably only be one universe, because they're gonna want to shut off the multiverse as an explanation and a cop-out for everything, and they're gonna want to have all of their characters on one world, so, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's building towards, and I'm a little disappointed by that, but...
Yeah. Now,
I guess it is what it is.
I guess I'm curious how that's gonna go on the TVA side of things. Now, if it's not very obvious... I have not seen... Sylvie is in the first season of Loki, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not seen any of the second season of Loki, and I do need to fix that. But it is
Let me tell you,
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if the TVA didn't even exist after this.
Yeah, because my thing is like going to be with the whole... Again, part of this is probably answered within the second season of Loki, but it's like, alright, so we have Doctor Doom, while not at all confirmed per se, pretty much being the replacement for Kang as the coalescing big bad in this story. I think that's probably what they're going to be going.
Yeah.
How does that play in with all the things that Kang has done up until this point? Because, like, again, I have not seen the second season of Loki, so as far as I know, it ends with Kang still being in control of the TVA. So, what happens there?
Yeah, you need to watch season 2 of Loki, because it gets explained. But...
Okay, cool. But yeah, I don't think, and the things with Kang in particular is like, I don't think you can really like gloss over that or try and shoo it away like you have with Harrison Ford in Captain America, or how they did with Rhodey in Iron Man 2 for this particular part of the overall story.
No, I think you could have. That's the most frustrating part. All the build-up that went into Kang for Quantumania and across 2 seasons of Loki isn't gonna matter, because the odds are they're probably gonna resolve it off-screen. Doom is probably gonna have taken over Kang's Citadel, wiped out the Council, but we're probably not gonna see any of it. Because the thing is, that would require them to have Kang on screen, and they obviously can't use Jonathan Majors, and if they bring in an actor to be a stand-in for Kang, that's gonna beg the question of why they didn't just use that actor to keep the Kang plan going.
So, I don't want to, I mean, I'm saying this as a joke, I don't want this to happen for obvious reasons, but even for as much as I joke about it, what I'm hearing is that there's a better than 0% chance that they're gonna Rise of Skywalker Kang.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? You know what would be really funny? I know they won't do it, but you know what would be funny?
Mm-hmm.
Picture this, right? Doom enters the big stadium that we saw at the end of Quantumania,
right?
And he's like, I seek the one known as Kang. Steps out, it's Don Cheadle. Boom, you looking for this?
That would be funny. I don't think they could pull it off.
No, wait, that it'd be Tony and Rhodey just... Do it, you cowards! Get Don Cheadle for Kang!
I don't think they have the balls to do that, personally.
I will start a letter writing campaign!
It's like, part of me doesn't think they have the balls to do it, but I think the more significant part of it would be trying to do that in a way that still works and doesn't feel ham-fisted.
Good luck there.
I feel like that would be a bigger issue than being brave enough to do it. Because at that point, someone there's probably just like, alright, we've done this twice. I don't think we can push our luck a third time, guys. It's like, says who? Says the accountants.
I feel like that's enough griping about Marvel, probably for the next couple of weeks.
Right. Unless something stupid happens again.
Yeah, unless something else stupid happens.
Yeah, and then it's, I don't know, who's usually, ignoring the fact that Doctor Doom in the comics regularly tries to kidnap Susan Storm, who's usually like the female lead that's most present with Doctor Doom? Because
he doesn't really have one?
Okay, because, as I say, watch it be a thing where it's like someone else comes in who's also like a long-standing like female villain, and that's played by Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my god. Maybe you know what? Maybe she's victorious. Maybe she's victorious. That'd be pretty funny.
Right.
You know, the thing about Doom is he's pretty probably Reed-sexual.
Yeah.
He respects Sue for her power, but realistically speaking, the only reason he's interested in Sue is because Reed has her.
Is there at any point where Sue just looks at the two of them and goes, "Can you two please just fuck already?"
I don't think in that many words.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So I think that's enough going on about Marvel Doomsaying, because I genuinely hate doing it, because I don't want to be another one of those fucking rage bait channels going on about Marvel is washed, all the glory days are behind us. It's just kind of hard to be optimistic about this specific direction that they're taking, this specific corner, and since this corner is the quote-unquote culmination of the individual stories and the big source of big team-up moments,
right?
It sucks to feel that way about the Avengers movies. And I know that shouldn't be the point, that shouldn't be the end goal. I can enjoy the individual stories for what they are, and I do, but that doesn't make it suck less.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing of, we're working with what we have, and what we have is, while still interesting, not overall super encouraging in the long term currently.
Nah. So anyways, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening to us, Dr. Doomsplay.
Oh god, I should have said all the doom saying.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you like the video, please make sure to share it around, because it really does help. Next week, barring another tropical storm or something of the such,
right,
there will definitely be a movie review again. This weekend, we got a couple of options, and I feel like this might be one where maybe you see one and I see one, because we got Borderlands.
Right, that is this weekend. Oh boy.
We got It Ends With Us, and we got Cuckoo.
Which one is Cuckoo again?
It's that one horror movie where with the creepy, not quite human person. Yeah, which I really want to see. So that's probably what I'm going for. But I might also try for Borderlands. I don't care.
I mean, I feel like it hits different with you on that front because as far as I know, you've never played the games, right?
I think I played one of the games exactly one time in multiplayer with you guys, but that was it.
Okay, yeah. I'm a fan of the games, and I do not have high hopes for this movie.
Oh boy.
It looks fun, but I do not have high hopes, personally.
So I might just go for your reaction.
Yeah.
Anyways, regardless of what we end up seeing, this has been Under the Bridge with Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, aka Greg.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye!